Welcome to This Week in Anderson Redskins Sports here on ESPN Media, powered by Sidearm Sports, as always on AndersonRedskins.org. I'm Jason Grefer. We're joined by Anderson AD Chris Newton and Zach McCormick. Gentlemen, good to talk to you once again. It's been a while. First of all, how are you and your families holding up right now?
Well, first of all, this is awesome. I'm so glad you guys got back in touch with us. We've missed our weekly phone calls, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think everybody at Anderson is doing well. We've communicated with our, with all the administrators, our coaches, our kids, and I think things are going as well as can be expected. As for the Newton house, it's crazy as ever. I was an empty nester a couple months ago, and now I got a full load home minus one of them, and I got to tell you. I don't know who's more bonkers, myself or Mama Newt. She's ready to boot me out of here.
Zach, how about you?
Hey, things are going great. We're actually getting ready to move into a new house, so we close tomorrow. So
wow.
I got to keep the screen like right in here because there's boxes everywhere else. But
we won't judge.
No, everything's been great. It's been a different time, that's for sure. But still thankful to have a job and be able to stay in touch with those Anderson kids and coaches and all the people around the community. We've been doing a few cool things to kind of stay involved, which has been awesome. But my fiance and I are doing great. Little puppy's doing good, so can't complain.
There you go. Before we get into all the talk about everything going on right now at the date at Anderson High School, let's touch on something that happened last month, and that was the unexpected passing of Coach Danny Salenza, just 37 years old, leaves behind a wife and two young kids. For those that didn't know him and his family, you guys just kind of take us through what kind of person he was, how he was received around Anderson High School, things like that.
Well, the great thing about Danny was he wasn't just perceived this way around Anderson High School. He was perceived this way all over the city and the state of Ohio. And he was a first-class individual. And he did everything. He did everything first class. There's not an individual out there that I think that would ever say anything negative about Danny, and that was evident as people coming out of the woodwork, people that I had no idea that he had contact with, that he was friends with, but he touched so many lives positively, and that's what we really saw as things went on the weeks after his passing is just how, we all knew he was a great man, but didn't realize how many others thought that as well.
Zach, what'd you think about Coach Salenza?
I mean, I'll just piggyback on that. I mean, he was an unbelievable guy, which everybody knows, but one thing that sticks out to me is he leaves a lasting impact on everybody that he meets. Whether he meets you for 5 seconds or he's a dear friend for life. I mean, he leaves a lasting impact on every single person he meets. He's huge into his faith and his family and the kids at Anderson High School and Anderson High School in general. And that, I mean, he honestly, he helps me and motivates me to live life better in the way that he did, with being so involved in those three things. So, I mean, he was an unbelievable person. Words can't do justice how great of a man he was. I only knew him for a short time, but I am incredibly thankful to know him for that time that I did, and also to get to know Sarah and Ruby and Jasper. I mean, they're an amazing family, and if anybody's able to handle this, it's those three. They're amazing, and they lost one, unfortunately, but they gained a whole nother family. I mean, they got so many people that are looking after them, and speaking for all of us, I'm sure, I mean, we'll do anything for those kids and for Sarah. So we're incredibly thankful for Danny and time that we had with him. And, I mean, my heart goes out to his family and all of his loved ones still.
And the community really has rallied. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say, the thing about Danny is there is no one that loved their family more than Danny did. And he was very outgoing about it as well, as he would share all kinds of videos with Jasper, with Ruby, with Sarah, and he was very comfortable in those senses and sharing how he felt about not only his family but about everybody else. And I just can't, as Zach put it, the best. I mean, he was a man of faith and family, and I can't imagine saying anything better about an individual than somebody that is so strong in their faith and their family. And that was all Danny was about.
It's well said, and obviously the community has rallied and then some. There is a GoFundMe page set up to help out the family. You can go to AndersonRedskins.org. It's right there on the front page. You can click on that and make your contribution to the family felt in more ways than one. So we certainly encourage everyone to do that, and everyone in the community has done that. But if you still like to, go to AndersonRedskins.org. Let's move on and let's talk about kind of where we are moving into this sort of new normal, I guess. Everybody's had to make a lot of different changes, not only to our daily lives, but also school operations as well. And I understand that's been the case as well at Anderson High School with the Athletic Booster Redskin Rally.
Yeah, we had plans to do it on March 21st, and we had a lot of people behind the scenes that were really working their tail end off with it, and just wasn't going to happen. So we've really collected our thoughts together, and we had so many things already collected, and so many people have already put so much time into making baskets and doing all kinds of things. So we finalized everything last night, and just super excited about the direction that we're going to travel this year with it. And it'll be on April 25th, Saturday night, April 25th. We'll open it up on the 18th, and so everything will be done online. There's about 60 baskets that we'll have and things. And one of the things the thing that makes me the most proud is it's just not about Anderson High School this time around. It's about our community. And so as a group, we've decided how these profits will be distributed, and we're going to distribute the profits 4 different ways, and we're going to split it all up into quarters, and our boosters will take 25% of the proceeds, because we believe, our kids, that's what it was funded for, and we believe our kids deserve that. But we also know that there are more deserving individuals out there, and we want to make sure that we take care of those. So 25% of our profits are going to be donated to the interparish ministries to help fund the food packs that are going directly to our Forest Hill School District families. I was blessed enough to be able to ride on a school bus and deliver lunches to kids, as Zach was, and I thought it was an awesome experience I had 2 great bus drivers, Greg and Mark, and Tia Strauss is doing an incredible job in our school district, and I know Zach had that same opportunity as well, and he loved it. And we're going to also donate 25% to the Meals on Wheels in Southwest Ohio in honor of Danny Salenza. And it just so happens that Sarah Salenza took a new job here within the last month, and she is working for Meals on Wheels. And it just, it's amazing how things come together. So we're going to donate 25% of that. And then last 25% is going to be donated to our local restaurants. We have 4 huge supporters of Anderson High School athletics when it comes to our restaurants on Beachmont Avenue. Jersey Mike's with Keith McCarroll is great. So we're going to partner with Jersey Mike's, and La Rosa's with Nick Facito, Skyline with Gary Holland, and Arthur's with Joe Santarelli. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take 25% of our profits, and we're going to buy gift cards from those 4 restaurants. And then we are going to donate those gift cards to the first responders around here in Anderson Township, and through the hospital, the healthcare workers, the fire department, and the police department. And we're excited to be able to give back to our community through this process.
AHS is family. We've talked about that on previous podcasts before, and that's a great example from you guys right there. Let's talk about the spring sports season, or what we thought was going to be a spring sports season. Everything was kind of just getting underway the last time we talked, and now obviously everything's on hold. We don't know if there's going to be a spring sports season. That's been postponed as of now, but not officially canceled. So still holding on hope. When it went back to the decision was made that everything was going to be put on hold, spring sports, let's talk about that. What were your guys' conversations like with the coaches when everything finally came down from the OHSAA that everything is pretty much on hold?
Well, I don't know what Zach would say, but I would say amazement, sitting there and talking with coaches and just kind of baffled, as we all were. But, we've had coaches that have been, working since, people think, it was at the beginning of the year. Well, and it was at the beginning of the season. It wasn't at the beginning of the year. Our coaches have been working since September with our kids for this spring season. So it was just it was a lot of disappointment, for the kids, not being able to go through the experiences of a high school athletic season. So that was frustrating. I think the real hard part for the coaches was talking to their kids. They saw, they feel for them. They're as a coach, you look at your team as your own family, your own kids, and they really felt like they were letting them down.
Zach, to piggyback off of that, when you're talking to the coaches, how much did mental health come into the discussion in trying to make sure these kids are okay mentally? Obviously, there's only so much they can do physically, but how much did you talk with the coaching staffs about the mental health of the student athletes?
Yeah, we talked about mental and physical health. I mean, we want our kids when they're after school doing their extracurriculars. I mean, they're being healthy. I mean, they're freeing their mind and being able to stay active and stay engaged in things that are positively affecting their body and their mind. So we wanted to push that with our coaches to we obviously know that there's no contact and they can't do anything face to face, but our coaches, I mean, I just want to give kudos to all of our spring coaches, and not even just our spring coaches, all of our coaches in general, because they have been, I mean, we're on the emails and they send out stuff and videos and tweets and all this stuff for these kids. And I mean, it's amazing to see how these kids are staying active and just the contact that these coaches are still having and the relationships that these coaches have with these kids is huge. And we try and reach out to as many kids as we can as well to just check on them and make sure that they're doing okay, because this is an unprecedented time. I mean, nobody's ever experienced this, and everything that we do is about the kids, and everybody is for the kids. So we just want our kids to stay active, stay healthy, and make sure that they're in the right place and right frame of mind and able to kind of enjoy this time and make the best out of it, rather than have it negatively affect them.
That's an easy thing to have happen. Go ahead, Newt.
Yeah, well, Jace, you bring up the mental health and stuff like that, and it is first and foremost of our kids. Just an example of what one of our programs is doing, and all of our programs. We have 29 programs at Anderson High School, and every single one of those coaches are doing things. But one of the things that our softball coach Dick Bertel is doing, he has a conference call with all the softball players, every week, and it has been, he said, it has been very therapeutic to the kids. And our softball team, I mean, we've got this was, without a doubt, was going to be the best softball team in Anderson High School history. I mean, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have 7 seniors on that squad, and many of them have been starting since their freshman year. Many of them have records already, and they were just going to add to them this year. And they were as devastated as any group. And that is why it's been so important. And like I said, Dick Bertel has done such a great job of trying to keep them together. And, again, the stay-at-home order is till May 1st, and the OHSAA is in line with that. And so we can just keep hoping and praying that, some things go our way and go everyone else's way here in our country. And, maybe May 4th, we're back out there running around. And that's what's important for our kids to know. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And we got to put the work in now.
Absolutely. And with moving into with you guys personally now that the governor has instituted the stay-at-home order, only essential personnel really allowed to go out and do things. Take us through, as administrators yourselves, how different things are now for you. How much are you able to get accomplished on a daily basis, and how much different is that from a quote-unquote normal spring day?
Wow. Yeah. I would say this, Jace. I'm a kind of a face-to-face individual. I like talking to kids. I like reading kids and people. And this has been devastating to me, not being able to, see kids and stuff like that. So, we try to. I'm not a big fan of putting, my feelings out on social media. I think those thoughts are between myself and the kids. So I send emails and I send information to kids personally. And some people like to put thoughts out on social media and all that, and that's great for them. That's not for me. What the things that I do personally are for our kids. And so that's the way I've been communicating with them and trying to keep that dialogue alive. But that has been the hardest part for me, is not being able to walk down the hallway and pull a kid out of lunch and pat them on the back and say what a great job it was to watch them the other night or stuff like that. And I know Zach feels that same way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's by far the toughest thing, is not being able to see the kids, because, so much of our job and the whole reason that we do this is to see the kids and see the smiles on their faces when they have somebody that's proud of them and know that they did something very well. So, we love all the kids, and we try and stay in touch with as many of the kids as we can through different avenues. We FaceTime with some kids, we email, text. Anything we can do to kind of make sure that the kids are staying in the right frame of mind. We just want to make sure that they're still doing okay, because this is a weird, crazy time, and nobody's ever dealt with it before. And we just want to, my heart goes out to those, all of our spring sports kids and all the kids in general at Anderson High School. But we just want to make sure that they're doing okay. That's our number one priority, is to make sure that they are mentally and physically doing okay and able to get through this. And then when we get back there, not take all these things for granted, because not take the high fives for granted, not take the saying what's up to somebody that you hardly know as you're passing them in the hallway, or, the morning practices, the lifting of weights. This is going to be an eye opener, and I hope that it changes not changes, but I hope that it affects a lot of our kids in the right way and kind of makes them appreciative of the little things that go on that makes sports and makes Anderson High School so special, is the little things, for sure.
Get you guys out of here on a lighter note now. People are trying to come up with different ways to pass the time, and we see a lot of people taking to social media for that point. You guys are no different in that matter of fact. We've seen some videos over the last couple of days on the Twitter feed. Zach, your soccer skills are, from what I understand, in development. And Newt, are you doing some reorganizing of your front lawn that maybe Mama Newt's not so happy about?
Oh, man. Well, we've expanded. Mama Newt's not happy about the backyard either now. We have officially put in a 9-hole golf course in our yard, four holes in the backyard and 5 holes in the front yard. And we're gonna there's going to be a little landscaping help that's going to be needed, because I take some divots every now and then. But I was getting my butt kicked in horse and basketball, and I can't hang with the boys anymore. So we developed a little different game and little more paced for me right now.
Zach, how's the soccer game?
It is non-existent, but I'm trying. My fiance is a soccer player, and we just try and do anything we can to stay active. We dropped about $100 at Dick's on yard games, a dartboard. All these things just to try and stay active. You got to try and find something to make light of every single day and kind of pass some of the time. So we've been trying to stay as active as we can. And I'm not a big guy putting myself out there on social media and putting videos of me out there. That's just not who I am. But I know that our kids really enjoy it. So we want to have our kids kind of send in videos, and we still want to be able to showcase them and praise our kids for the work that they're doing, because we know that they're all still working and doing a ton of stuff at home. So we really want them to continue to send in videos and different things into us, because I love putting it out there, but to be honest, it makes my day, and I rewatch it about 15 times just because I'm like, man, I miss that smile. I miss them hitting that volleyball, whatever it is. We really just miss these kids, man. I miss everybody at Anderson High School.
Well, obviously, it's interesting times for all of us, and it's good that you guys are able to still find an outlet for that, as well as your student athletes. Guys, thank you so much for your time here today. Stay safe, you and your families, going forward, and we'll reconvene again soon.
Jace, we appreciate it, and we hope you and Rob and your families are staying healthy and taking care. And again, we just appreciate everything that you do for us, and most importantly for our kids. So thank you.
Absolutely, it's what it's all about.
Appreciate you guys tons.
Absolutely. That is Zach McCormick and Chris Newton from Anderson High School joining us here on the AD podcast here on ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.